Hello everyone and welcome to 1.5 of APMJanism, and today we'll be going over 1.5, of course, which is Foundational Behavioral Principles, or FBP. Now, there's three primary things, as in most of these units, but there's basically A, B, and C. And A over here is gonna be action over intention. Oh no, sorry. A is action primary doctrine. Action primary doctrine. Alright, action primary doctrine holds two main ideas here, and that is first starting off with 1A. 1A is action over intention, or as we like to call it in this course, AOI. The definition of that is actions hold greater value than thoughts, plans, and intentions. So no matter your opinion, no matter what you say or think, your actions always have the greater hand. Alright. My apologies. So yeah, basically 1A states actions hold the most meaning, okay? And in MJanism, your intentions only exist if it becomes physical. If you want to do something but never act on it, the intention is considered unfinished energy, and that's important, unfinished energy. In this unit, okay, in MJanism in general, energy, we will always be referring to energy as EG, or just saying energy, right? So, unfinished energy. It does not influence the world. And for you guys, you are what you do, not what you think about doing, you know? Your actions define you primarily, not what you think about. And that's a very important concept here. And once you guys take the final exam, this upcoming March, that's an important concept to really get in your head, because 1A of 1.5 will probably be on that test. So keep that in mind. 1B. 1B states the empty will principle. The empty will principle states, a desire without action is considered unreal. It does not count as part of your identity. So kind of tying back to 1A here, okay, actions are you. Okay, so actions, for you formula people, actions equal identity. While thoughts are going to be considered unreal. So, if someone says, for example, I want to get better at writing, but never practices, right? MJanism considers that non-existent or unreal in practical reality. So that is the basis of A, your actions are based on, or your actions propose identity. Actions equal identity. I'm not going to write all that. I'm going to just put that at the bottom. Alright. Now we move on to B. And this is pretty important here. It is 3 things you gotta know. And B is the reflection cycle. And behavior improves through a continuous loop of reflection, adaptation, and reconstruction. Reflection is not optimal, it is built into the structure of growth. So, to kind of get into that, we got to look into these concepts. So 2A is the pre-action reflection. Okay? It's a process. Okay? It's a process for the reflection cycle. And that's why you got to know every one of these to get it. So the pre-action cycle, or not the cycle, the pre-action reflection states, before acting, individuals examine goals, obstacles, and intentions. So let's just draw a visual here, eyes looking, right, at goals, obstacles, etc. And the purpose of this is this phase prevents impulsive choices and ensures purposeful action. So now, instead of just acting based on, your environment, as we stated in 1.4, by Brownianism, or based on your visuals, you act based on goals. 2B is mid-action adjustment. Alright? And the definition, while acting, individuals might constantly adapt and modify their behavior in real time. So the key idea, no plan survives the environment unchanged. That is what you're going to want to write down here. No plan survives an environment change. Adjustment is proof of intelligence. For you students, it might be easier to just say, fix your approach while doing the task, not after you fail. So during something, right, let's just say you're over here, I have no clue, honestly. I can't give a good example, but basically, don't do it after, do it in between. And you may be wondering what to do after. Well, that word 2C comes in, which is post-action reconstruction. Okay. I should probably put pre right here, so. Post-action. After the action is complete, habits and beliefs are rebuilt based on outcomes. Now, the outcomes is what matters, okay? Outcomes. In the mid-action, we stated that you shouldn't be doing it based on after. Well, in this one, the post-action is after. And that ties back into here. What is the obstacles he faced and how did they outcome? It's an infinite cycle, if you can't tell. This is a constant cycle of doing things over and over again. So the definition of this would be, after the action is complete, habits and beliefs are rebuilt based on the outcomes. The implication is success strength patterns and failure redesigns them. That's weirdly phrased. Sorry, guys. So look at what happened, learn from it, and build a better version of yourself next time. Many people say that, but that is post-action. What you do mid is different than post-action. It's during it. So you gotta change your approach before, midway, and after, and that's the reflection cycle. That's how you're gonna get better. Just like in school. You gotta know what you want, okay? 2A. You gotta do it while you're doing your work, right? Switch it up a little if you're not understanding the concepts. And then after that, you take your test. If the outcome was good, great. But if the outcome was bad, you gotta change it. Alright? And the last law, or the last segment in this is letter C, which is the law of minimal inaction. Okay, the law of minimal inaction. In MJism, doing nothing is never neutral. It always makes the problem worse. Inaction grows its own gravity, pulling the mind into a cycle of avoidance. Okay, this is going to be more of a business approach. So, this is what we call 3A. The inaction cost multiplies. Inaction cost multiplies. When you avoid something, the difficulty increases every day you postpone it. For example, not studying makes the test twice as harder than it looks. And not cleaning your room makes it 3 times as overwhelming next week. Right? Waiting makes the task heavier. This ties into a key concept in our program, which is procrastination. But we can get into that after basic principles. 3B. Inertia growth law. The longer someone does nothing, the more powerful the habit in action becomes. So motivation decays is one good example of this, okay? Motivation decrease. Fear grows. Another one is a good one. Action becomes foreign and avoidance becomes automatic. Inertia becomes self-feeding loop. Oh, there's no C. But basically, inertia becomes a self-feeding loop. The more you don't act, the more you can't act. So once something is done, you can't do it. And doing nothing trains your brain to keep doing nothing. So basically, the whole point of Unit 5, or not Unit 5, Unit 1.5, is that everything you do is based on before, midway, and after. And to really hone it in, you have to be able to realize that you got to turn your thoughts into reality. You got to have a constant cycle of improvement. And you got to minimize these, or just don't do them at all. And eventually, you'll get an increase in your desires. Okay? You could do this, or you could not. But it's your choice. MJ signing out. Or Dr. MJ. Just kidding. Don't call me doctor.